You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favourite podcast platform. Or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Right, Chris.
All right there. All right at the back. How are you all doing? Good evening. How the devil are you all? Smug face time. I can't quite do it like Jeremy Clarkson can, but hey, I give up. I totally give up. I should be. I'm 60 years old. I've supported Leicester all my life. I should, probably why I had a heart attack. I should be used to it by now. But as I always say, would the real Leicester City please stand up? This is Leicester Till I Die. This is where you can watch us, listen to us, and join in.
Watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favourite podcast platform. Or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
No Tillermans, no trouble. Leicester City 3, as you quickly saw there. Leicester City 3, Legia Warsaw 1. We're top of the league. Does it get much better than this?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event of the evening. 60 minutes of football fun and banter with Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV. Are you ready? Let's get ready to rumble.
Are you ready to rumble? I am tonight. Brad, good evening. How the devil are you, sir? That was a better performance than recent weeks. I think it was, well, maybe not the Man United game, but it was one of the best performances of the season. Nice to have you along, Brad. Maybe not having you is the lucky charm. I don't know. I'm joking, mate. I'm joking. Dorco, good evening. How the devil are you? Nice to have you along. Devils United. Oh, Maisie, how are you? How the devil are you, in fact? Who's this new guy you've got coming into the end of the season? He sounds like an extra off Vikings, I'll tell you. David, good evening. Nice to see you as well. And Jeff down there, is it the Philippines? Yes, it is. A breakfast show for me in the Philippines. Piers Morgan. If this is your breakfast show, I'm Piers Morgan. Shall we get Susanna Reid in? Susanna, how the devil are you?
I'm all right, Chris. How are you, pal?
I'm all right. The women have been screaming for you back.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They said, where's our Viking man? That's what they've been saying.
That's it. back
He's
now.
married, ladies. Can I just say he's taken now? So calm down, ladies. Throw your knickers at me. Mind you, I'll probably just I'll get the dirty ones. You know. Nippon, good evening. How the devil are we? Maisie, yeah, I'm well, yeah, let's not go into that, eh? Best to walk away and not answer that one. Renee, good evening. Welcome along. Hope you are well as well. And Brad, you've been relegated to the bench. Yeah, I can't do with two good-looking men on and me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I do feel like when you used to go out, there used to be in pairs. There was a good-looking one and me, basically. From bottom to top, indeed. I've just got to say, I don't know if you saw it at all. Did you see the Tottenham result, Josh?
I did. They got beat 2-1, didn't they?
What a shame. In fact, this guy saw it as well.
Viewers, apologize. I'm continue.
Any excuse to play that, I don't. But yeah, what a shame, Tottenham. What a shame. But hey, it's all about Leicester. Dare I say we're back, or am I being a bit presumptuous?
You'd like to think so. I think we were, like we were saying before the show started, I think we were sort of not due a performance like that, because I think it was still a bit hit and miss during part of the games, but it was, as I said to you when we were messaging half time, it's completely night and day between that and the last few games, really. Especially attacking wise, we were sort of attacking with more of a purpose. As soon as we got the ball in the final third, we were trying to get the ball in the box a lot quicker. We seemed to be pressing. The pressing game was, I thought, really impressive today as well. Slowed down towards the end, but it's gonna, the players were getting obviously more tired than anything. But yeah, I mean, like we said, it was nice to get the win. Obviously, it was a game which we needed to win. But the performance more than anything meant a lot more to me today.
Exactly. I mean, I said before, when I used to travel up from the south coast to Leicester during the Great Escape season, and every time I'd have that 3.5-hour return journey after we lost and we were still bottom. But you knew the guys, they were fighting for it. And that was totally chalk and cheese from the Chelsea game. I mean, the Chelsea game was like me trying to play FIFA. My passes were going out for throw-ins. I'd be on goal for a shot and I'd press pass instead. We couldn't find a player in the same colour shirt when we'd got the ball. And tonight, I almost felt like a couple of Olays coming up. It was the Leicester of last season.
Yeah, it's totally different, mate. I think obviously, I mean, as good as we were, I thought they were really, really poor tonight. But again, you can only play what's in front of you. I think it's nice to sort of put the Chelsea game behind us. I understand why everybody was knocked after the performance Saturday. I mean, losing against Chelsea didn't surprise me because they're a team on form this season. At the start of the season, I'll pick them to win the league.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So you can lose. You don't mind losing against bigger teams, but like you say, you want the performance to be there. And thank God tonight that we actually sort of pulled the socks up a bit. It looked like Brendan had sort of maybe tweaked things here and there. Like you say, with a pressing, I thought it was really impressive. I thought certain players looked so much better tonight than what they have done in recent weeks. But yeah, it was so much better tonight, and it were a pleasure to watch, because I think the last month or so it's been a bit of a chore to watch us, unfortunately.
That's the word, chore. That was the word I've been looking for. Do you think? Two things, first of all. Do you think the fact, they were booed at half time and they were booed at full time? And to be honest with you, I don't have a problem with that. During the passage of play, no, you get behind the guys. But if they haven't been the performance, it is our way as fans of letting them know. And maybe that they actually thought, hang on, we've got to go out and maybe they had a point to prove.
Definitely, mate. I think you're right. I'm not one for say never boo my team. When we're good, we praise us. When we're shit, we've got to, you've got to say so as well. But I'd like to think so. I'd like to think that at the end of the day, fans pay good money to go and watch them, and then if you put performance in like they did on Saturday, rightly so, people have got a right to voice the concerns, especially like you say the way we've been playing. So hopefully, you'd like to think that Brendan's got into them and said, listen, these fans are what pays the wages. So yeah, hopefully it bodes well for the next few weeks because we've got some tough games coming up. So you'd like to see hopefully tonight's sort of going to be the catalyst for what, fingers crossed, is going to be a good run for us, especially over Christmas. We've got some really, really tough games. So hopefully the next few weeks we'll go on a bit of a roll and find some consistency.
I've got to the BBC emailed me and asked me to contribute to a thing on the return of Ranieri, and it's going to be a lot easier to write after that performance. I've got to be honest with you. Yeah. The other thing I was going to say was Brendan allegedly had this meeting with all the players because he's been linked. He's been linked. He's been linked with the Tottenham job, the Man United job, the Newcastle job, the Arsenal. Even when there's no job there, he's being linked. And apparently he got all the players together and reiterated his commitment to the club, which is, if it happened, brilliant. I think it needed doing. Again, I think that do you think that had a difference tonight? That the players knew what was going on?
Yeah, I think, I'm not naive enough to think that if a club like Man United came in for Brendan Rodgers, I think personally, for as much as I'd love to say we're nowhere near as big as Man United. Footballing club wise, the biggest club in the world. So, I wouldn't. I'd be gutted to see Brendan leave. Of course, I would. But if a club this size, Man United come in from the Garrold round, you'd say, listen, he's gave us some fantastic years. For the most part, we've played cracking football. So I think, like you say, if these rumours are true that he's got the sort of the hierarchy of players in and said, listen, I'm not going anywhere. So maybe it has put the players' mind at ease because I think there's rumours and then there's certain things where players surely look into it and think, hang on, there might be something in this really. So you never know. I'd like to think that hopefully that side of things has sort of played a part in the last few poor performances, and you could say, well, maybe it might be one of the reasons why we have been playing so poorly. So hopefully now it's been put to bed that performances will pick up and the results will come in a bit more.
Yeah, I think even sort of well, certainly at my work, if I've got a new sales manager coming in, or my sales manager I've got is thinking about going, and I get on really well with him and have a good relationship with him, it kind of affects you for a bit. You think, oh, who's going to come in? We have to say good luck and thank you to Morgan though, Mr. Morgan, who manages the ladies team, who was relieved of his duties today after the poor start for the ladies. I kind of get it, but he did really well to get us to the Premier League, and we thank him for that. And I'm just wondering, sort of, Ollie's not got a job now, and he's used to managing. He's used to managing ladies, isn't he?
Can you imagine? Jesus, that would be so funny.
Well, I'm not saying that his team weren't playing like men, but Ollie, give us a call. I'll put a word in for you. Just go through some comments. Nippon, I wanted Tottenham to win today. Spoken like a true Chelsea fan. David, good evening. How the devil are you? Rene, let us keep the formation against Watford and Napoli next week. This is Brendan. He's got to win. He's going to change it. Brendan's been watching my tactics segment. I think he has, Brad. I think he has, to be honest with you. I don't know if Joss has got a tactics board or not. We'll talk about that later. Have you not seen Brad's tactic board?
I've not. I've not.
He gets it out at every opportunity, I'll tell you. Gets it out and has a play with it, and he loves it. Brad, you know I'm joking. Defending was not very good, says David. I know it says Michael, guys, but it is David. Well, I thought the defending was good tonight.
I agree with that comment to a certain extent. But first half, anyway, I thought second half, I wasn't worried at all. I didn't really think they didn't really threaten us whatsoever. To be honest with you, I think it's the most comfortable I've actually watched the Leicester game in a very long time. But yeah, first half, I agree to a certain point. I thought the defending it did look shaky. I think the thing is as well. I don't know, maybe I'm sort of looking for excuses here, but obviously Johnny Evans was set to start and then he had to, he got injured at the last minute. Amati came in, and again, I thought apart from one shaky moment with Amati when he sort of went to shield the ball out and their player nipped in, I thought he had a decent game as well. People take the mick out of him, but I think he's been probably one of our better players this season, to be honest.
He has totally. Really when you come to think that it's Amati that we always think of, he'd made my first name down on the defensive, the defensive party. He's come good this season.
He has, and you know what? It goes to show that, like, a lot of fans, and me especially. I'm not going to lie. At times, I thought, well, he's played his last game for us, really. But I think it's sort of even for the younger lads and the sort of players that are on the fringes, he's a player who they can look up to and think, your time's never over for certain at Leicester, because again, there were a couple of seasons ago, you'd look at him and think he's on his way out, he's not really going to play that much. And then now he's starting every game, he's playing most games, and he's really, I thought tonight, apart from that one shaky moment, I thought, he had a decent game, to be honest with you. Defensively first half, I agree, but second half, I didn't think we were under any threat whatsoever, to be honest.
That said, they changed their performance, and I don't think there were any threat at all anyway, but like you say, you can only play who's up in front of you. David, good evening. How the devil are you? Needed that result. Would like to see more KDH. He was impressive for me. Dorco, always look on the positive side, mate. Can't sack Rodgers now for a few weeks. Jordan, good evening. Welcome along. Liverpool fan, you're more than welcome, sir. How are you? Madison is back, and Patson Daka was like... Madison is back, and Patson Daka was like, shocker. Okay, not sure I get that one. Scott, hello, sir. How are you? Welcome along, sir.
Cheers, Scott, mate. Thank you.
I know it's nice to have him back, isn't it? I mean, I've never known anybody have such a long honeymoon. I've got to be honest with you. Your wife must be knackered, mate. That's all I can say. All I can say is you've been scoring more than Jamie Vardy has. Hey, there's no shame in losing to the champions of Europe. Yeah, all right. There's no shame in losing to the FA Cup winners either, Nippon. But I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean. You're going to win it this season, so I've got all credit to Chelsea. James, good evening. He's impressed with Daka. Never really heard of that, but look, he is a good player, and I think he's going to be a straight takeover for Vardy. David, they were booing the ref. No, I think they were booing the players, were they not, on against Chelsea, mate? I mean, when you looked at that squad that came up, I was actually impressed with it.
I knew we'd go strong, so we had to, really. I thought it was sort of a bit of a gimme that Daka would start, because I think he's started every Europa game for us this season. So again, he showed tonight, and like the previous comment just said, he slotted right in. I thought, like, even from the first whistle, within the first 20 seconds, he was pressing their left back and got us in a decent position. And I think we had sort of a half chance from it. But I think the only question mark I was sort of worried about was Samarian and Ndidi as sort of a pair, because I think in time it'll work out as a really good partnership. I thought they both had decentish games tonight, especially in Didi's header, who took really well. And I thought Samari did okay. But with Samari, I think it's probably going to take him maybe a season, couple of seasons to really gel and fit in, and maybe then we'll sort of start to see the sort of player that we have really bought in. I think he's done all right since he's came so far. He's had some decent games. Against Chelsea had a bit of a shocker, but who didn't, to be honest with you? So it's not really saying much.
I think we know that if Tillemans is fit, and we've got to fit Tillemans, those two wouldn't be playing together. That said, if Tillemans leaves at the end of the season, again, I think you've got to bring in either replacement or use KDH more, because I think for me, Samari and Ndidi, they're very similar.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, mate. And
you haven't got any attacking threat in there, really.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think with Samari, I think he can be more of a box-to-box player than what Wilf is. But like I say, they're both ball winners. And Samari's a big lad as well. I remember the first time I see when I went to the Villarreal pre-season game, when he came, I couldn't believe the size of him. He's absolutely huge. I thought he's a beast, absolute beast. Yeah. You're right, mate. I think as a pair, defensively, I think say solid, because we ain't been defensively solid, have we, this season? But I think they are too similar. But nice to see Samari play a bit more advanced and maybe be the ball winner more at the top end of the park. But having said that, I thought they both had decent games tonight.
I haven't heard about Evans' injury. I don't even know what happened to him, to be honest with you. But if somebody's sort of watching that has heard any update on it, that would be good. 2-0 up. Give it. It was a great start. Daka's, what a turn in the box for Daka.
I know, brilliant.
I mean, let's talk about that first of all. It was both teams, in fairness, went for it, and they're bottom of the league, having sacked the manager, lost the last 5 games, and they looked quite decent. They didn't look like say bottom one off the bottom of the league, but we both went for it from the start. It was was no sitting back tonight, was there? We knew it was a must-win for both teams, and you could tell.
Definitely. I think like the first, I'd say 35, 40 minutes, it would just end to end, really. It would really, for a neutral, it'd been a cracking game to watch, to be honest with you, because I think, maybe up until our first goal, I thought we were we were the team more in control, I'd say, but it could have gone either way, really, to be honest. I think, that they had a few good chances. We started off pretty well, I thought, but it was a really, really good game to watch. And then, like you say, for me, Daka, it may be because he scored another goal today, and it's me being biased, but I think as sort of a natural finisher, I've not seen anybody like. I mean, we talk about Vardy and as much as we want, and some of the the goals he scored, the amount of goals he scored for us, but I think in Daka we have got that replacement, and he just always seems so confident with his finishing. And I thought, like you say, the sort of turn to anticipate the ball, to maybe take a deflection. He was sort of at his back to goal, and he sort of knew that it was going to come to him to sort of on the half turn the defender and slot it away as he did. It was absolutely brilliant, and it's sort of in them sort of positions, it's nice to sort of know that when Vardy does hang up his boots in God knows the next 2 or 3 seasons, Daka's going to be there to take his place. Really, a brilliant finish, really was.
Well, unless Man United give us 90-odd million for him in the meantime, or Chelsea, or he gets injured and then Chelsea want to buy, because they like buying injured players allegedly to Chelsea. Terry, good evening. How the devil are you? Welcome along. Let's hope they can carry it on. And Anthony, Arsenal fan, good evening. Big up to you as well. Maddison, wow, that was the Maddison of old tonight with that goal, wasn't it? I mean, you could see that the first effort, I thought he's going to have a go now, but there's no way through, and he did the turn and for me, it's up there with one of the goals of the season. I thought he took it brilliantly.
Really good, and you know what? His performance deserved it. I thought he played really, really well tonight, and when he's when he's playing a bit more advanced, but when he's not sort of dropping deep looking for the ball, when he's sort of staying more at the top end of the pitch, and that's where he's more effective. And he's a completely different player when he's playing that role. And tonight, for me personally, I thought he was my man of the match. Along with, I thought Harvey Barnes had a really good game as well. I felt he was really direct tonight. But yeah, Maddison. But just again, chalk and cheese, mate. It's just complete night and day to performances. And I think he's going to be one of them players this season where I think he's seen the likes of Grealish kick on, Mount kick on, Foden kick on. He's sort of dropped into the background a bit, which might be a good thing for him, really, because when we sort of were riding high and he were doing really well. I'm not saying I don't know the lad personally at all, so I don't know if it went to his head or what, but he sort of, that was when his performance sort of dropped, like went off the boil a bit, really. And I think maybe he needed, he's not really played that much football for us this season. He's been dropped for quite a few games, so I think you'd like to sort of think that could be the catalyst for him to sort of, pull his socks. I think, if I want to be getting into England squads, for the World Cup next year or being in that sort of contingency, then he needs to put in performances like he did tonight. And long may it continue, because he were absolutely superb tonight. Really good.
Yes, he was. And I hate blaming injuries. So I always used to say I used to hate it when, you look at clubs like Liverpool and all them blaming injuries. You think, well, come on, look at the squad you've got, and we've probably got the best squad we've had in ages. But we do sort of suffer with injuries. And I think the thing is that a lot of the players that have been injured, when they've come back, they've not come back the player that they were before they went. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, speaking about Maddison, he's prime example for that. Ricardo, when he had, he had a long layoff of injury. Injury, he didn't really come back the same player. Unfortunately, he started to pick up again. I thought he's been one of the better players this season for us, to be honest. But I don't know. I don't know if he's injured again or not. He's picking up little injuries here and there. So I think it's hard for, especially the sort of, the type of injury that Maddison had with his hip and stuff. Maybe it's harder for, professional footballers sort of come back from that injury, because it's a delicate area for anybody, really, especially the way he plays when he's on his game, on the half turn, and the way he moves his body. I imagine he puts a lot of strain on it. So again, mate, I think if we could keep him injury free, I think he's going to be a really big player for us for the rest of the season. I can see him really kicking on for us, because I think he knows deep down that he's got to do something special. Yeah,
and just we can't keep a clean sheet for love nor money, can we? I don't think a pizza would even do it this term, but I was unlucky because Casper saved it, and my God, I've got to give the credit. That guy was hot off the brick, wasn't he, to get to the rebound. But Casper did well to save it, but it kind of all the places for it to go, when it hits him, you think it's either going to go straight back out or to his left, which was the way he dived. How it came off his body and kind of went to the right, I don't know, but they responded well, and they got the goal. And I think, and for a minute, I thought, here we go.
I think we all did, didn't we? Like you say, especially this season, mate. I think every single Leicester fan at the minute expects us to concede at least one every game. So when we concede, I don't really get disheartened anymore, really, with it. I just think, well, there's the obligatory goal, to be honest with you. Come on, let's kick on now. It's crazy, really. I mean, because I think the last couple of seasons, I think defensively we've been pretty solid, really. And then for it to be how it is now, it's a case you think, oh, for God's sake. And you sort of go into every game thinking, well, we're going to concede at least one, so let's try and get it out of the way earlier the better, really, and then gives us more of a chance to get something out of the game. But I don't know. It's one of them, unfortunately. Maybe it's a bit of a blip we're going through defensively. Hopefully, it'll pick up for us.
Well, it can't really get any worse, can it? But
No,
yeah,
no.
I know what you mean. I know, and we had worse injury. You know, we had less fit defenders last season, and we weren't this bad. But hey, you know, we've won. Let's at least be happy. But I thought, I mean, for this game, all the officials were German, including the VAR. Not like last week when I think it was the last game, there was a Polish guy on VAR, which was weird when we've got a Polish team in the group. But I thought they had pretty decent games, to be honest with you. I think it was pretty fair. It was one. I mean, it was a penalty. You can't deny it. But how can a defender defend that? I mean, it's come off another player. So it's not like he's gone out with his hand to block it deliberately. You can't defend against that, can you?
I think it's just it's obviously it's the rules now, and it's the footballing law where if your hand's in an unnatural position, then unfortunately, if it is, it's going to get given. I mean, had that sort of gone for us, then you definitely say, well, it's a definite penalty. You're right in saying it for me, it's a clear penalty, mate. And as much as he's unlucky with it, because I don't really think he's, like you say, the pace of the ball and stuff, he don't really get time to react to actually stick his hand up to intentionally block it. But because his hand's there, it's unnatural position, and that's why it got given. And I had no arguments about it, mate. It sort of is what it is, and that's the thing, you know, with decisions like that.
It is what it is because we won.
Yeah, exactly. if we'd have lost, I'd have been going mad. But no, it swings and roundabouts.
It is, and I always say, had it been at the other end, would I be screaming for it? Yes, I would, without a doubt. And I just think, though, like, if we don't have VAR, and let's take, it was just down to the ref. The ref would look at that, and he's got no idea. It's happening so quickly. But we have got VAR, and I know it's the rules, but then maybe the rules are wrong, and we need to look at that and go, well, it was a deflection, and maybe I'm just being pernickety, maybe. But Scott says, Brad thought he always had his board out. Yes, he did. David, I thought we defended set pieces well, and Marty had one poor attempt at shielding the ball, as you said, but were composed in corners. Thought Castagna wasn't as efficient defending on going forward, and we hope he's. I've not heard about his injury. There's nothing online about that yet. So, but indeed, he gave the penalty away, but we're going to forgive him. He went up and got one the other end. So fair dues, Wilf. That's the way to do it.
Really well taken goal as well, and the delivery from Madison, the corner in was spot on. They're the sort of the deliveries you want to see, and I mean, it was sort of a running joke from us last season that would we ever score from a corner, but you sort of get, if you're going to get a set piece whipped in like that, then you get excited for set pieces and corners. I mean, nowadays it's sort of a case of get a corner. Long gone are the days where you think, you're going to get a goal from this. But if it carries, if Madison and players like Tielemans and stuff can deliver that sort of ball in, you've always got a chance of getting on the end of it and nicking a goal. So hopefully, again, that continues as well. It'd be nice.
Yes, and like I say, it was the second half. Bit like after the Lord Mayor's show, we soaked up a bit of pressure, but we couldn't quite get that killer goal. But then I don't think they actually threatened us enough to worry us. I think at 3-1, we were comfortable.
More than comfortable, mate. I think it was sort of going in at half time 3-1 up. I thought it could have gone either two ways, really. Brendan could have got the lads gone and just gone out and says, right, just really go at these now. But I didn't really think there was any need to be honest. I think, we second half created, a few good little openings, few good chances, but it wasn't, I mean, even though the sort of second half was a bit of a, compared to the first half, it was a bit of a damp squib, to be honest. But it weren't a game where I sat there and I was like bored to tears. I know obviously it helps when you're winning games, you're winning the game and you're keeping the ball because you don't mind watching that. But even so, I thought, we looked really in control of it. Again, as I say, defensively, I was pretty sure that we weren't going to concede. I didn't think we were going to throw it away, put it that way.
No.
And again, I thought, attacking wise, it was sort of calculated risk on when we pressed, and I thought we created, with some decent little openings. Daka had a couple of good chances, and Dewsbury all had a good long range effort that just went wide. So overall, mate, it was a really good performance, and really pleased with it, especially after the last few weeks.
What I do like about the Dewsbury Halls and the Barnes, the younger players, they're not scared of having a go. They're not, they do run at the defence, and because sometimes you think here we go, cross field again and back to the goal and what have you. But they do like to they do make the game exciting. Go to point here. It's Freddie. Good evening. How are you? The pyros look so cool. Couldn't see the pyros on the TV. All I could see was the smoke. And I do wonder whether UEFA, they said on the TV that UEFA take a dim view of it. We all took a dim view because you could hardly see the picture at one point. But if that had been Leicester, would have had a fine by now. And how the hell did the Polish fans get the flares into the stadium? As I put on Facebook, maybe they were left there when they were building it. Oh, I know. I know it's bad. Forgive me. Oh, there's a bit like a stereotypical joke, is there? You know that. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh at my own jokes, but it'd be interesting to see if they do anything about it. David, he's 89 in February. Well done, mate. Congratulations. It's making I've had heart problems. It's making supporting Leicester's not good for your heart. When is James Justin coming back? We might see him pop up before Christmas. Depends if I think if we're probably 3-0 up in the game, he might bring him on. But David says we hope we have the same grit for Sunday as we did tonight. Jeff, hope we keep a clean sheet on Sunday and we can treat Claudio to a pizza. Lot of there was, and I'm going to give credit here. I don't know whether you watched it on BT or not. Josh, and I'm sure you did. You weren't any other way to watch it, just in case anybody I'm sure you watched it on BT. I shouldn't even ask you. But thankfully, there's literally one very quick clip, and they refused to show it. They didn't show it at all, which was good because it doesn't give them the publicity. But it makes me laugh because we'll now get into trouble again. And it's always the opposing fans that are fighting. But maybe they couldn't find the spanners and the hammers and what have you.
Yeah, from B&Q.
Yeah. Exactly. But hey, this is how it's looking. I mean, it looks suddenly, they say a week's a long time in politics. It's even longer in football, isn't it? There we are now, top of the league. I think Brad posted earlier that whatever happens, third is the lowest we can come. So whatever happens, we could be in the Conference League. I don't know whether we'll meet Tottenham there because they may be out, but it's for neutral. It's been a great group, but yeah, I think West Ham have got our group this year because we like to get an easy group. We did in the Champions League. We did last year in the Europa. We got the short straw this season and got the group of death. But everybody said at the start, Napoli, Leicester going to go through. I mean, if we beat Napoli, and let's be honest with you, they lost the other day. They are beatable. They've lost 2 games. If we can beat them and go top, that's going to be such a boost, isn't it, going into Christmas?
Definitely, mate, and it's mental looking at the group there with seeing how bad we've been, and the start of the year we were bottom, and then one win can take you to the top. It's been a strange old group. It really has, because you look at that and you think, well, Legia have got a chance of. I think if they beat Spartak next week or week after, whenever it is, and Napoli, there's a Napoli draw, they can still finish top of the group. It's bloody mental, really.
I think you look at that and literally anybody can go through. Before Napoli
It's crazy.
played Spartak the other night, there was a thing on the UEFA website and it was giving what could happen if, after tonight's results. And there's a big list of who can go through and what everybody needed. And then Spartak beat Napoli and it was like, nothing's going to be decided. Anything can happen, literally just one line. But, Legia can go through it. Well, like you say, anybody there can finish. I mean, if Legia can't go top, I don't think, because if for that we'd have to lose and then Napoli would be top. But Legia would go through into the draw. But is it all about getting through, or is it a case of we don't want to come second because we're going to have that extra game?
Yeah, it's hard to say, really. I mean, as you say, Napoli are beatable. I think it don't really help us because it's a horrible place to go and try and get a result, because it's sort of a must win, not say must win, but must not lose, basically, for both teams, really. I didn't really realise as well that Leicester could finish third, so at least we'll be in some sort of European competition regardless of what it is.
This is Brad and his board. This is it's like a double act, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, Brad and his board. It's like one of those water boards. You're too young. You're too young.
I think the onus is going to be on Napoli to really come at us in the last game, because they, at the end of the day, they need to beat us regardless. It's just so tight and anything can happen. But obviously we'll put ourselves in a really good position now, especially after tonight. So it's going to be exciting but nerve-wracking, to say the least.
Yeah, as Jeff said, there all four teams can still qualify. It was when he said, imagine, Barcelona could end up there. I don't know what. Well, I know why UEFA have done it, because they want to keep the big teams in a European competition. And I think last season, Man United, I mean, no disrespect to and I hate Villarreal after what they did in the friendly before, pre-season. But in a way, I'm glad they won it, because I think the team coming down from the Champions League, winning the Europa League, to me, just makes a mockery of it all. Because Man United nearly got, success from failure. And I just don't, if you're knocked out of any, and it's like us, if we go down to the Europa League conference, then we go on and win it. That's not fair to the teams that are in the conference. But then it's all about money. It's all about money, isn't it? So let's have a look at some of the groups then. So on Group A, I think Lyon are definitely through, and I think barring a big defeat, Rangers should be through as well. Monaco are through from B, PSV Eindhoven or Sociedad. Of course, our group, anybody can go through. Frankfurt are through and Olympiacos are through. I mean, some big names in the Europa League this season. Galatasaray and Lazio look like they're through. Red Star, that in Group F, even FC Midtjylland. Proud of me for getting that. That was good.
That was good.
They're better than I was doing with Craig the other night, trying to pronounce some of these Polish players. Leverkusen and Betis are through, and West Ham are through. Congratulations to West Ham. They will admit they've got an easy group. They've had an easy group, but like I say, I think we have the last two seasons. Brendan's got something to prove, hasn't he, with Europe? I mean, if he wants to go for this big job that he's being touted for all the time, I mean, Man United, supposedly that they're after this guy, after Rodgers at the end of the season. But Ole finished above him twice in the league and got to a European Cup final. So it's almost a step back going for Rodgers, and no disrespect to Brendan. But he's never done well in Europe, and that's the one thing he's got to prove to himself, I think.
You could say so, but you look at as much as we love our own players, you know, you look at the players that Solskjaer had at his disposal and the money he spent compared to what Rodgers has done. And I think, you know what, I'd put both achievements between him and Solskjaer over the last couple of seasons. I'd say Rodgers has done better than Solskjaer, to be honest with you. I know, obviously, you know, they've had the top 4 finishes and stuff, but excuse me, for us to, you know, win the FA Cup and finish in the top 5, I'd definitely put Brendan above him. But you're right, mate. I think, unfortunately, he has sort of struggled when it comes to European competition, whichever club he's been at, really. Obviously, last season it sort of petered out for us when we lost in the round of 32, and you know, with Celtic he struggled, with Liverpool he struggled in Europe. So hopefully it's sort of he can dispel that hoodoo and get results against Napoli and then kick on from there.
Yes,
you'd like to think so, anyway.
Yes, you would, definitely would. And let's be honest, like you said, probably what he's achieved with Leicester is better than what he's achieved with what Ollie achieved with United, because Ollie, look at the stars that he's got in that team, you know. And I think we all said if he doesn't do something this season with that team, then he is gone. I mean, I just think give it to Carrick. Carrick's at the wheel. He's got to win. Man United. Emil Heskey says now progress is in Leicester's hands. They should be confident. I mean, it is ours to throw away, isn't it? And I suppose that's a good thing in a way. Although I don't know. Would you sooner go into this last game knowing that as long as you don't lose, you're through? Or would you prefer that you've got to win, meaning you've got to go out? It's a difficult one, isn't it?
It is, because I think we've sort of all got used to how Brendan can set up when in games like we've seen many times where sometimes he can be, as much as I love the bloke, he can be quite negative at times in his tactics. Yes. Can be. Yeah. They can be more set up to not lose rather than win, if that makes sense. So hopefully against Napoli, you know, we've got to be cautious, of course, but don't be too worried about, you know, losing the game and just sitting back, because they'll pick us off. They've got the players to do it. You know, smaller teams than Napoli have picked us apart many a time when we have set up negatively. So just go out, play as we are, and, you know, on our day we can beat anybody. That's the thing. And, you know, when our players are on it, and as we say, you know, players like, you know, the likes of Maddison on his days, he's one of the best around in his position. So we've got the players to do it. So just don't be too scared. Just go out, play the game, and then obviously let the game unfold, and then just react from there.
Danny Simpson said here, he's talking of James Maddison. You could almost believe that this show was rehearsed, couldn't you? No, not if you watch it, you couldn't. But Danny Simpson said post-match about James Maddison, he's a confident lad and he wants to be the best. He'll be delighted to get a goal and assist tonight. And it is. And I think that it was confidence, I think, is what we've been lacking for a while. And hopefully, that's going to turn it round. Although I did say that after the United game. Brendan Rodgers said, false dawns. We had a big job to do tonight. There was pressure on us because we knew we had to win the game. I could say it was the old Leicester to me. You wouldn't know there was any pressure on them. They went out like they were top of the group and they were passing it around and they could, passes were finding each other. And I thought a lot of people pre-game were going like, oh God, Luke Thomas, why Luke Thomas? I thought he had a very decent game.
Definitely. I thought it was one of his better games for us this season, to be honest with you. I say, again, I think, he's another player that started like Europa League football for us this season. It shows that obviously, Brendan's got the confidence in him that he can do a job. He's still a young lad. Again, I always say he's going to make mistakes because he is so young. But I thought he did really well tonight, really well. I thought defensively he played well, and then going forward, I think him and Harvey Barnes linked up quite well. Well,
Yes.
really well, quite a few times, and he looked more confident when he was going forward. He looked more like, you know, he weren't sort of scared. God, if I lose the ball, then I've got to quickly get back. He sort of took more risks, and it was really, really good to see. I thought he had a really decent game tonight. And again, you know, because he's a young lad, he's going to want to build up as much confidence as he can, really. So it's going to bode well for him, you know, further on down into the season.
Yeah. Scott, still concerned about when we concede corners. We scored from a corner. You know, Amati and Ndidi, you know, who needs strikers? You know, it's the good news is, I guess, and I think he was lucky. Samari didn't get a booking today, because I think if he'd got a booking, I think he would then miss the Napoli game. So he didn't get a booking, but I thought he came close. I think the referee was being very, very decent to Samari, shall we say?
I think going back to, and it's going to tie in with what you said earlier about the officials. I thought the ref had a pretty decent game. To be honest with you, I thought he let the game play out as much as he could. You know, I thought there were a couple of decisions where I thought, well, you know, he could have let that go, but I mean, there was one where I think, I can't remember if it was second half, when Samari nicked the ball, but then he caught the man afterwards. And I thought at the time, you know, you can hear the crowd going mad on the telly and stuff. And you thought, well, that pretty good tackle that was. But again, you know, Samari, he looks like the sort of player where, a bit like Wolf, really, you know, he sort of plays on the edge a bit. You know, he can leave his leg in there at the last second and nick the man as well as the ball. So, yeah, he needs, like you say, he needs to be careful. And we are lucky he didn't get a booking.
German efficiency, that's what I like to call it. I mean, I've had a go at the Poles. I might as well have a go at the Germans now. There's nothing like typecasting, is there? You know what I mean? I'm going to stop myself before I go any further. Just finish on this then, and just see whether you agree, because probably remember Alan does our post-match man of the match and rates the team and the players, and he does it straight from after the match, as soon as he gets a signal, as he gets out the stadium. So he doesn't have time to sort of, well, he gives it thought, obviously, but it is quite off the ball. But don't know if you agree with this. He's got James Maddison as his man of the match, and the manager and the team 7.
I did say earlier I had either Maddison or Barnes as my man of the match. I thought Harvey Barnes for me had a cracking game. Again, Barnes is another player I absolutely love. On his day, he can be easily one of the best wingers in the Premier League when he's at it. And I thought tonight he was really at it. He was really positive. When he was on the ball, he was just looking to drive forward all the time, and that's sort of Harvey Barnes you want. And when he's in that sort of mood, you know, he can score no end of goals and provide assists for us. So I thought he was brilliant tonight. For me personally, like I said, it was either between Maddison or Barnes. I'd have just said Barnes maybe edged. I'd say Maddison maybe edged it because of his goal and how well he took it. And again, going forward on the front foot, he played really well. I'd probably give the team, and maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm living on it a bit, but I'll probably give the team an 8 purely for the fact that, you know, like you said, Chris, you know, the pressure was on. We needed a result tonight, and after the last few games away we've played, you could sort of understand if the players sort of went into the shells a bit, but they came out on the front foot. So I'd probably give the team an 8. Brendan a 7. I thought, you know, the team he picked, he were positive with it, and he sort of knew that we had to get something out of the game, and the way he set us up to, you know, the pressing and being on the front foot. So, but yeah, I apart from me giving the team an 8, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I'd say Maddison just shaded man of the match. Yeah,
I think we say 7, 8. You know, it's like 6, 7. It's there. He usually gets it. You know, certainly very close. But no, I tend to agree with you there. I thought it was a good performance, but then, like you say, you can only play what's against you. Claudio returns at the weekend. That's going to be interesting. Again, proving I know nothing about football, because I didn't think he was the manager for Watford. But hey, nothing's guaranteed at Watford, is it? But can I just say
it's crazy? They're a crazy club, aren't they?
The thing is, and I didn't realise this, but apparently, Fabrizio Romano, Watford's his UK club, and they're owned by Italians. And the Italian method of running their club is to have a manager in for 2 seasons, 3 at the most, sack him, get somebody else in, refresh it, sack, sleep, sign somebody, sack, sleep, sign somebody almost. And Chelsea do that, in fairness, but Chelsea get it right. Watford do it, and they just make a balls up of it, But hey, it's going to be another tough game, mate. It is going to be tough, but hopefully after tonight, the lads get more confidence and they can go into the game thinking, you know what, we can go on a bit of a roll now, because the next few games are tough, but we have got some winnable games coming up, and then, like you say, over the Christmas period, I think we play. We've got Liverpool coming up, and they're the sort of games where you going into them, you think, right, if we could pick up 2 or 3 wins and then sort of go into games like that, then you can sort of not as a free hit, so to speak, because you want to win every game, but it's going to be tough, mate. But it's there's plenty of football to come, so it's exciting. I think it's going to be tough this season. I think if we'd come back, and it's just the way we're playing. If we carry this on, and like I say, we have had a lot of false dawns this season, but then, and we get back to playing like this week in, week out, then I wouldn't be as worried. But like you say, December, we've got, it starts off with Villa, which that's going to be a tough one away to Villa. We've got the Gerrard effect there. And we've obviously got Napoli away. Newcastle, and that's not going to be as easy now that they've got somebody in charge that knows what they're doing. Then we've got Spurs, Everton, Liverpool on just before Christmas, and Boxing Day is Man City, and then Liverpool the league game on the 28th, because the Liverpool on the 22nd is the Carabao Cup. We seem to always get Liverpool and Man City around Christmas, don't we?
Always.
Have you noticed that? Yeah.
Always. Yeah. Always. Yes. It's not coincidence, is it? It's definitely not. When it's happened for the last 3 or 4 seasons, it's definitely not coincidence, that.
But we did beat Man City on Boxing Day. That was under Puel. Now, if Puel can beat Man City, surely Brendan can. He has done. Let's not forget the 5-2. But it's only a month off Christmas today, so let's hope today marks the start of a lovely, not 12 matches of Christmas. I'm guessing
it is open, mate.
There might not be.
It is open. Fingers crossed, though. Yeah.
Mate, thanks. It's just lovely to see you again. I'm sure the female viewers are equally as happy. Talking about being happy, do give my best to your good lady, and also to Lee and Emma. I haven't heard from them for a while.
No, I've not either, to be honest with you. I've not. Yeah, I was thinking about Lee the other day. Bless him. I hope he's all right. I see bits and bobs on Facebook, so I'm assuming
he's stopped coming on since you did. So you've lost me one viewer. What can I say? I tell you what, it is very much COVID, because I was thinking, my best mate, I've not seen him for over a year. How ridiculous is it? But hey, we're living in strange times.
That's it, mate. That's it.
But you make sure you stay safe, and hopefully see you in a couple of weeks post Napoli.
Yep, definitely, pal. Cheers, Chris. Thanks for having me on, buddy.
Fingers crossed that we'll be as happy as we are tonight.
Cheers, mate. Have a good weekend, pal. I'll catch you in a bit, mate.
And you. Take care. All the best.
Cheers, Chris. Ta-ra, bud.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thanks to Josh there. And for coming on. Nice to have him back. It's been a while. It has been a while. And missing Brad, obviously. I'm kind of attached at the hip to Brad. I feel like he's sometimes, bless him. He does a lot for me, Brad, but it's nice. He's probably having his feet up. He's probably in bed now. He's getting on a bit. Probably in bed with his nightcap on and his socks, keeping warm there up there in the north where he lives. And so always thanks to Brad, but yeah, thanks to Josh for coming back. Scott says, thanks Josh, great show, pal. Can't wait to see you again. Yeah, it is nice to have him back, like you say. Jeff, I think next season we'll be competing for top 4 again. Dorco, indeed, he had no idea where his header was going. Who cares? Who cares? Thought Marty had a good game. He did. He did. This is funny how things change, isn't it? You know, and I find myself, since I've been doing these shows, that I do find myself more critical of individual players, maybe because you know, it's something to talk about post-match, and obviously if I come on and say, you know, somebody didn't have the best game, it does get people talking, and it's not always what I think I say and I post to create discussion. But it is funny how a Marty has gone from villain to hero, and like I said to Josh earlier on, he wouldn't normally be your first name on that sheet in the defensive positions, but it probably is now. Rennie, goodbye, mate. Thanks very much for coming on. Scott, teammate Brendan 7 and Barnes man of the match. It's never thereabouts what we're saying, 7-8 and what have you. Jeff said he agrees with man of the match. Jeff goes, great show, guys. Sun is shining here. Sign language, Jeff. Sun is shining here, but too hot for a bit of gardening. Oh, that's my excuse anyway. Yeah, like you need an excuse, mate. Like you need an excuse. David, thanks, Chris. Great show after show. Thank you so much. Your thoughts are always well received. Thank you. Just to let you know, next Wednesday, this is coming up next. This is coming up tomorrow night. So please do not miss this. Yep, 7 o'clock tomorrow. Craig is back, the wise old owl. Claudio's back as well, and we will be looking at that tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the preview show. And then, of course, next Wednesday, we play Southampton away. 9-0. We won't be doing a post-match that night. The post-match will actually be on the Thursday because I'm actually going to the game. It's only down the road. It's like a home match for me. It's 30 minutes down the road. So I'll be going there. Can I just say that last time we played Southampton at night at Southampton and I went to the game, we won 9-0. Bring it on. Who fancies 10? Guys, and I say thank you to everybody that was in the chat. Thank you so much for joining in. It really is appreciated. If you've missed the show, this is where you can catch us. Watch us again on YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV. And if you haven't, please subscribe. It is free of charge. If you want to join, there's some club things you can join, bronze, silver, gold memberships. Where you can contribute monthly. You can contribute just by clicking on the dollar sign at the bottom and helping the channel to run. But what means more than money or anything is please give us a subscription and even press that little bell so you get notifications of when we go live. If you prefer to listen to me, ladies, I know you like to watch when Josh and Brad are on, but if you prefer to listen when I'm on my own, you can catch us on any of your major podcast platforms, including Apple, Spotify, Google, Podcast Addict, Anchor, and more. Or you can ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die. And you have to say, play the podcast. But I said the big thing is please subscribe. Last couple of messages here. Anthony, good stream. Thanks very much, mate. Appreciate that. And Daco, thumbs up to you as well, mate. Do you know what? It's the 25th of November. We are a month of Christmas. We've won 3-0. should we play the Christmas ending? It went wrong last night. It didn't work out. I've got the Christmas logo, which is there in that in that corner. And should we play the Christmas outro? I think we should. See you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Thanks to everybody that's joining. Get over there, press that subscribe button. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Stay safe, guys. See you then. Bye-bye.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Thank you for watching. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hello, Matt Elliott here.
Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Be sure to watch
Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV
for all the latest Leicester City news and information.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels
for the latest updates and news on Leicester City.
Come on, you foxes!
Hi, this is Chris from Leicester Till I Die. Thank you for watching and listening. Have a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Don't do anything I wouldn't enjoy.